Hey, what is going on, everyone? It's me, Mr. Mario, and welcome back to another episode of Mario's Minute. For those who do not know, this is my second podcast I do here. My main podcast, Mod Chat, is a little bit tighter, a little bit more well-refined, and one where there's some more editing that's going on there, and that's where I talk about new things in the world of modding, video game console modding, video game modding in general that I find cool, that I want to share with you all, talk about, do a little bit of show and tell. But this is not that. This here is Mario's Minute, where I come on here and I talk about whatever the hell I want to. Sometimes I have a guest on here, sometimes I don't, and it is available in two different forms. First of all, it is available in a video visual form here on the Mr. Mario 2011 YouTube, Rumble, and Odyssey channels, although there's not all too much going on there. It's just really my channel background with a cool looking visualizer. At least I think it's cool looking. And then if you want to take it around and listen to it like an actual podcast, you can look up Mario's Minute on your favorite podcasting app, host, provider, platform, site, and you should hopefully be able to find it. I know it's not available on all of them, but it's available on most of them. Either way, however you're going to consume it, hopefully it can be enjoyed. But like I said, this is where I come on here. I talk about whatever the hell I want to. It's once a month. It's been running for several years at this point now. Wow, well over 6 years now, which is crazy to think about. However, I like to cycle between guests, so I try and do it every other month, and last year I was a little bit slacking on it, my apologies, but usually I try and have a guest one month and then a solo episode the next month. So this year, to wrap up January 2024, we do have a guest on, and this is actually a guest who has been one of my personal favorites on here. We had some awesome conversation, and he is a return guest here, returning for the first time. So as I always ask to my guest, who the hell are you?
Holy moly, look at that pizza. Hello?
Hey, how's it going?
Mario, hey, Modzville here. Yeah, I just saw this crazy pizza over here. Thanks for having me back, dude.
Hey, no problem. Thank you for coming on. Okay, we're going to have to talk about that. I swear, I think you were looking at my show notes or something, because I quite literally have holy moly, look at that pizza on my show notes. I swear.
I read your mind.
Exactly. Yeah, but how's it going, man?
It's going good, man. Just grinding, staying busy. Same old shit. You know how it be.
Yeah, that's good. That's good, at least. Staying busy can be good. For anybody who does not know who ModzvilleUSA is, I guess, how would you describe yourself?
I'm just some dude.
Okay, fair.
I'm just some guy.
You know, like a little bit about modding here and there, right?
I dabble.
Okay.
I dabble here and there. I mod this and this or that.
Fair. You've kind of done it all. I'm just thinking, like, you'll do the Xbox and Xbox 360 stuff, of course, like the big consoles that like people will think of, and then it's like you'll do like the Famicom Disk System, which is like, oh, like 5 people know about the mods on this.
Right, yeah, that one you really gotta dig to some real like Angel Fire looking websites to figure out what the hell's going on when you're working on a Famicom Disk System. Those things are a pain to work on. It's like they're weirdly easy, but kind of a pain. Just the belt, like replacing the belt, is oddly convoluted.
Really,
more than you would think for just replacing the belt. Yeah, you gotta dial in the head. You gotta twist it this weird way. I'll send you a video after this that someone made, like, and it's very specific and kind of wonky, but I really love that system.
Yeah,
didn't grow up with it in any way, but it's nice.
Anybody here in the U.S. like, no, nobody's gonna grow up with that, but that's cool. And like,
yeah.
And I actually learned more about it by seeing like a few of the videos that you did on it. I'm like, oh, this thing is cool. Like, I love like you and I, we've talked about it personally before, where it's like you just love like kind of the odd esoteric type systems and formats like that, especially just like the odd kind of like floppy type discs that they have there. Like,
yeah, that's cool. That's what brought me into that. Is I just like putting those in. I like that you can like write your own games to it with some simple, just jump a wire here, cut a trace there, and you can reflash. Like if you've got a dead one, you probably don't want to do this with a bunch of really nice Famicom Disk Systems, but if you get a junk lot of loose cartridges, you can write English translations, and then what's his name? Cliff's Repair Corner. He made all those rad English English covers for them that are really, really. I've got kind of like two collections of those. I've got like the genuine Japanese collections, and then the like DIY reprogrammed for English builds. Which is, if I'm going to play one, it's going to be that. And it's just it's too neat to use any kind of like flash drive for me, or like flashcart, whatever you call it. Like I use it for. You can use it for reprogramming, but just having all the games loaded up, it's like that's so much of the experience is putting it in there, letting it grind, letting it take forever to load and make all sorts of wild sounds. I don't know. It's just it's too neat to bypass for me. That's like the one exception, is that one's just way too neat.
I think that was me. Like, I remember when I was having fun, like going back and kind of knocking out some childhood mods that I wanted to do. And like when I started modding up a bunch of original PlayStations like Madman, I was like, no, I don't want an optical drive emulator, because having the CDs there and hearing the laser and hearing it spin up and all, and the loading times, that's a part of it. And it is, although for me, and I'm sure with other people, then it gets to a point where it's like, you know, it'd be really nice to just like fire this up and like just pick the games from a menu.
Yeah. No, I kind of held out a bit on Dreamcast as well, because the days of Skies of Arcadia, playing that when I was younger and running around and knowing like you're about to have a random encounter because your disk drive starts spinning up and making crazy sounds right before the random encounter actually starts. Yeah,
I know what you're talking
starts
about.
grinding.
Yep.
It'll grind preemptively before the game tells you that you're about to be in a fight, which I kind of miss with the GDEMU or whatever. But you know what? The benefits are just too great.
Yeah.
It's discs aren't neat enough for me to like. Want to justify keeping around that get damaged so easily.
And that was actually one thing for me. I remember when I got back into Dreamcast for a little bit, I ended up picking up one of those clone GDMUs, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is. I think that was the first system I installed a optical drive emulator into, actually, because I was like, oh no, the Dreamcast needs it compared to many other systems. Like the Dreamcast would definitely.
You know
need
what?
this thing.
I think that's same for me. That's probably the first one that I did as well. Yeah, because they were out and like impossible to get forever. And as far as like the clones versus the genuines, like I wish that the genuines were like made more available. I respect that the dude is very much like DIYs everything. It's just a one-man show. So I think he like hand solders, like the authentic ones all look hand soldered to me, which is really cool. It's just like the demand was like outweighing the supply by so much that it probably would have benefited to get some made, because people really wanted those damn things, and they were impossible to get.
He was, in my opinion, just too how do I put it? He wanted too much complete control over it seemed, because I know even there's a old post a long time ago from like Stone Age Gamers actually like partnering up with him, and even so they like came out with this post. They're like, yeah, we try to help him out, we try to do this stuff.
No, that's actually I think you're confusing GDMU with that other the USB GD whatever.
Yes.
That was that dude.
Yes. Okay. So the people who were doing the Dreamcast ODEs were just a little abrasive with that. So that you're correct there. So that person who did the USB one, he was just incredibly hard to work with, and the GDMU, it was like, hey, we're only producing a small amount at this point. Here they are, and they just got snapped up so quickly every single time.
Mostly, but I mean the thing that I think really turned a lot of people off was that it just seemed like, very small windows where, it's basically just supplying resellers. And then, that's completely outside of that dude's control. But that was the reality of the situation, was that they were all getting snapped up by people who were going to flip them for like $600 on eBay. So
now I believe,
anyone who bought a clone of the GDMU, I'll just go out and say, don't feel bad about it.
Yeah, and I feel like that was one of the few ones where it's like, hey, don't buy clone products except for the GDMU. That one's understandable.
Yeah, some people have a hard time with it, but for me, it's if you've got one scenario where it's impossible to get and one scenario where it's possible to get, it's only reasonable to like just get it.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah, I think with that one, because it wasn't the Stone Age Gamer post, but I think the person who was making the GDEMU, at one point they did have their own post, and they were like, you realize there's different, like, there's different times. They were trying to justify that with, like, the drops. They're like, there's different time zones, and there's different, like, drops and things around the world. Like, you don't have to be on at this point here. And it's like, dude, do you want to sell your product or not? Do you want it in people's hands or not?
Yeah, that's what's silly that I've never really understood. Luckily with the things that I make, the demand is definitely not like insane like that dude, where it would be like where I'd be like, I don't know, if I was in that dude's scenario, I'd be probably stressing out. But if you've got something where like the demand is so high and you're just one person, like, they're going to sell, you might as well like hire some people at that point, or figure, scale it up a bit. Comes a point where you gotta scale your shit up a little bit, and I think that's hindsight's 20/20 on that one. But I definitely think it would have benefited him to scale that up a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, not at all related to the modding stuff here, because you said, the first thing you dropped was, holy moly, look at that pizza. Dude, quite literally, yeah. I had this written in my show notes because I wanted to bring this up and tell you here, I wanted to corner you with this. You ruined me with that.
The pizza.
Yeah,
that's a really funny bit.
Oh my god. Okay, so to explain context to people, incredibly controversial person, but Sam Hyde had this old series of videos where he had like a shitty phone and he was in his mom's apartment and would just like do these recordings where he was bugging his mom. And he has this one where he just goes up to the bathroom mirror and he's like, I have it memorized. It's just like, gather round, friends, for it's time for yet another episode of Master of Secrets.
Gather round, friends, for it's time for yet another episode of Master of Secrets.
Dad, please stop.
Yeah, Mom.
Wow, look at this pizza.
Look at that pizza, Mom.
Holy.
Holy moly, look at that pizza. You know you're in rough shape when a pizza makes you say,
Look at that.
oh my god, stop.
He hears Mom in the background. It's like, Sam, yeah, Mom, please stop. Wow, look at this pizza. Look at that pizza, Mom. And it's just, there's that, and then like he just keeps going on about it. She's like, holy moly, look at that pizza. And she's like freaking out about it in the background. He's laughing. He's like, you're in rough shape when you react like that to pizza. She's just cutely oblivious. She's like, oh my god, look at it.
Holy moly, look at that pizza.
Look at that pizza, Mom. Yeah.
It's so endearing.
Yeah, but I say that you ruined me for, dude, it got to the point I showed my mom that video.
Did she like it?
She just, because I showed it to her.
Or was she confused?
No, the reason why I like that so much is because I see myself, that was the type of stuff that I would do to my mom when I was in high school. Like, maybe not to that full degree of assholeness, but that was the type of stuff I would do. And my mom is just like, she's like the same way. She's kind of just like cutely oblivious to things like that. So that is like the exact exchange, like we're almost the exact exchange we would have. But I showed her and she just kind of like sighed and like rolled her eyes, but she laughed a little bit and she's like, yeah, that would be me. I'm guilty as charged. Yep, I'm sorry, I'm guilty. Yeah, even my girlfriend, it's to the point I accidentally reference it like once a day, completely out of context with things, but it's even to the point where like at one point, this is a few weeks ago, she ended up making these really delicious like non-pizzas. It's just like a bootleg pizza on non-bread. And she had, you see where this is going, so she ended up making 2 of them. And they were both, I think they were both going to be for me, but like I had one. I was like, oh, this is great. She's like, oh yeah, put the other one in the fridge. She woke up way early one morning. And then I go to the fridge later, like once I'm awake, and I see like most of it is gone. And I was like, oh, hey, I noticed, yeah, you ate that. I hope it was good. She's like, yeah, no, sorry about that. I just needed something to eat. I was like, no, like, first of all, don't apologize. Like, you made this. Like, the food's there. It's yours to grab. But secondly, I don't think that's happened. I think you opened up the fridge and you said, holy moly, look at that pizza. And then you grabbed it. And she's just like being driven nuts by it for me now.
I imagine you all like just kind of like yacked out, hyper alert, just like in silence all the time, just looking, like scanning for pizzas. to like remark about.
I don't go to like buffets enough, like CC's, or I don't even know. I hope Pizza Hut still has their buffet. I don't do that enough, but yeah, most recently when I end up doing a Costco trip, I had to go out of my like I'm like busy shopping and stuff, like I'm looking for things, but I had like moved out of my way to like move the cart to a place where I could get.
We're going to the pizza aisle.
Yeah, not the pizza aisle. Oh, I should have done that. No, I tried to get a good shot because I got a Pixel 7 Pro, so I got that nice zoom on there, but I had to get a good shot of the Costco
by the
cafe.
slice.
Yeah, of the slices there. And I just sent a picture of that, and I just said, "Holy moly, look at that pizza!" So it comes up. It comes up.
Hell yeah! Well, you know what? Let's shout out to Costco. They got those pizzas are a heck of the deal. Same with Sam's Club. You know, they really kept them the price down. Mwah, I love it. Love to see that.
You know, the thing is,
credit.
I hear this the hot dog and drink combination can't be beat, like to the point where I believe even the founder of Costco had threatened someone's life if they ever raised it past $1.50 US. However,
that's so cool. That's such a rad thing to threaten someone's life over.
That and
$1.50 hot dog.
And I don't know if the rotisserie chickens have ever gone up in price. I'm not sure about that. I know they're $5. I don't know if they've gone up in price or not, but I do know. Here's the thing, man. Like I would joke about the pizza there, but like I've had the pizza so many times. I'm not saying it's not a like good deal. I just don't really get the hype with it. I have it, and I'm like, I don't know. I feel like there's just like something missing with this here.
Yeah, it's not amazing. It's just it's a heck of a deal. Can't pass up that deal.
Yeah.
They're fighting to keep that deal. People's lives are being lost over it, apparently.
Dude, wait, are you being serious about that, or are you just pizza?
No. Well, you said he threatened someone's life if they ever raised
no, that was a hot
price.
dog deal.
Oh, the hot dog deal.
Yeah, but they did end up getting in some fire a few years ago because they ended up changing the hot dogs they were using.
Damn.
Yeah. So even those
That's
things
fucked
can't
up.
change. It is. There was also
You can't win them all.
Well, I was also upset too that apparently because I noticed there was like something missing, and then I saw it here. We're just going into a whole Costco food type thing, but no, like the churro was like not bad at all from there, and it was cheap. And it's like, oh, this is random and quirky because Costco of all places sells churros at the cafe here. Apparently, they have completely not just added. They now have a chocolate chip cookie there that you could get, but they completely replaced the churro with it, and the cookie itself is like almost $3.
Damn.
Yeah.
Was it a good deal? Was it a big ass cookie or what?
I'm almost too upset to even get it. I'm just like, I don't even want to support this thing. Like, you bring back the churro, I'll get that, but like, I'm not going to be supporting what the churro ended up being replaced with.
Damn.
Yeah.
I was gonna say if Costco's listening, you should be paying us right now. But then now we're flaming them for their big cookies, so they should still pay us. Fuck it.
Yeah, I agree. I'm gonna continue to flame them with this. So,
Costco, give us cookies and money.
Yeah.
If you're listening.
But that hot dog deal is no joke because it's also so cheap where it's like it's to the point where it's like even if you're not hungry, like you pass by, you're like, a hot dog and a soda for $1.50 just like sounds like just a stellar deal to get right now.
Heck of a deal.
Exactly.
Heck of a deal.
Exactly. So
in this economy, sheesh.
Yeah, but I wanted to let you know that your holy moly look at that pizza reference, the video you sent me, because even like Modzville and I, we would talk about stuff like this, right? And apparently,
we shoot the shit.
You couldn't find this video for a while, and it got to the point where like you went to a Twitter account and you scrolled for like 5 or 10 minutes and still couldn't find it, and then
that's where I found it from originally. I loved it, and I mentioned it to you. I was trying to show it to you, and I just couldn't find it. Then you found it.
Yes.
You ended up finding it like months later, I think.
Yes, yeah, I found it, and I'm like, wow, okay, yeah, this is worth it here. And it's one of those videos I've probably seen at least 100 times. Quite literally every single time I watch it, it is funnier than the last time.
I love that video, and I love that you love that video. It's a funny little slice of life.
It is. It's
literally.
It's slice of life. It's kind of, it could be a personal thing, it could be not. And then it's also one of those videos like you'll show it to people, and because I showed it to one of my friends on here, they were just like, I don't get it. Like, was this a viral video, or is there like an in joke that I'm supposed to get? Because I just don't really understand the video itself, and I'm like, that's the thing.
Yeah,
there's no point to it at all. It's him messing with his mom. That's it.
The only other person I showed that to, the reaction was like, "Why'd you show me that? Like, why? Why did I just watch this?" Which is also a funny response.
I did show it to another
alright with
friend of mine who she was like, because I was just like, yeah, if you watch a video, there's so much to unpack there. She's like, no, you're right. There is a lot to unpack in that tiny video.
There's a lot to unpack, and some people don't want to unpack it, and that's perfectly fine.
Exactly.
I'm pleased with someone who sees that video and doesn't. And his response is, "Why did I just watch this?" That does it for me just as much as thoroughly enjoying it.
Yeah. It's you can even, dude. I've even
enough.
twisted a little bit too, where it's been, what was it? This is a few weeks ago, and we have video of it, and it's like I forgot about this until my girlfriend had brought it up. But her dog was trying to jump up on the couch and wasn't able to get up, and I'm like talking to the dog like a human, and the dog just ends up burping. Well, she starts laughing, and I was like, you know, you're in rough shape when you react like that to a question.
Yeah. What a fucking badass dog.
Yeah.
That's some real Chad behavior right there.
Yeah.
Just burp in response to being scolded.
Exactly. Yeah. And we're having the whole thing right now where it's like, hey, maybe I could get like the opinion of some listeners here, but like here's the situation. I don't know, Modzville, I don't know if you've ever run into this. Here's a situation that I'm running into, right? So I myself, I have a dog. My dog loves me. My girlfriend has a dog. Her dog loves her. At some point now, our dogs have essentially swapped. Her dog has chosen me as the favorite human. My dog has chosen her as the favorite human.
Oh, that's a dilemma. Everything went topsy-turvy there.
I
don't know what you do.
Well, it's not that they love either of us. Like I know I can tell my dog loves me the most. Her dog loves her the most. But it's just I can tell even how it happened. She's the one who dishes out all the treats, and my dog will absolutely go crazy for that. Meanwhile, I'm the one who does the walks and the feeding, so her dog has just like glomped onto me for that. But it's like to the point where we'll be on the couch, her dog like jumps up next to me, starts cuddling with me. She calls her dog over. She will like yell at her dog sometimes, like, come here. Her dog will not go over. She will bring her dog over to her. After like 2 minutes, her dog like shifts uncomfortably, comes back over to me.
Oh man,
it's hilarious. And then my dog is just like hanging out, like stuck next to her. Like her and I, we like my dog and I will exist. Like Lily will exist in the same area, but like when my girlfriend's there, she's just stuck to her.
Damn, that's cold-blooded.
It is.
I don't know. I think all you can do is you guys got to go get new dogs. You got to trade them out.
Adding or
Start over.
Okay, you're saying replace. No, we're not doing that. No, because there's a whole other thing. We have talked about that too, and I have said, ideally,
getting new dogs.
Not getting new dogs, but getting more dogs, because I have said.
No, yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah. Oh, you're saying getting more dogs.
Right, that right.
No.
That's what I thought you were saying.
No.
Getting different dogs.
No, I think you're saying getting different dogs, which we're not going to do. No.
Okay, good.
We love our dogs immensely. We're not trying to replace them, but I was talking about adding more dogs to the mix, which we've also had a discussion over this. And I have said no from all of my observations and everything that has happened and what I've seen in the world. In my opinion, and maybe people can agree or disagree, I think the ideal human to dog ratio is per household, one adult human per dog. Because at that point, you can just assign one human to a dog. It ends up balancing out. So if you have 2 adults in the household, 2 dogs is fine. You have 3 adults in the household, 3 dogs is fine. But for example, like
that sounds perfectly rational to me.
It works. There's been times where it's like I have essentially had like 2 dogs to myself, and I'm like, this is kind of overwhelming, because like you end up like spending more time with one versus the other, and then the other one ends up getting neglected in that you don't spend as much time with them, as much attention, and then even so, I've seen couples where they have 1 dog, perfectly fine. They have 2 dogs, awesome. It's like the guy has a dog, the girl has a dog. They get a 3rd dog, it's overwhelming.
Right. Yeah, it can fuck up the whole dynamic. For sure. I know someone I knew had like 2 dogs and got 2 female dogs. I remember them saying that they ended up finding out that that's a real problem and wish they hadn't gotten 2 female dogs. I guess they just really didn't get along. I guess that's a thing. Might want to look into it because that's the only time I've heard about it. I didn't verify that or anything, but I guess it sounds like gender could be a factor there with how dogs are their dynamics with one another.
Interesting.
Which makes sense.
I
got a second cat and it took a year.
Like, I feel like it depends more on the. Really, like it took a year, like to warm up.
For them to like each other, like they were at odds for a good year and finally get along.
I feel like cats are going to be different though, because you and I talked about this before the show. But like, it's not that I dislike cats.
Cats can be mean.
Cats.
Yeah, totally.
No, not the cats can be assholes. They are assholes.
They can absolutely.
But I tell
be
people
assholes.
The sooner you realize that, and I say that with love, the sooner you realize that they're assholes, the sooner that you can learn how to work with the cat, live with the cat, and all that. That's fine. You just have to realize they're assholes. And if any cat owner says, "Oh, cats aren't assholes," it's like, okay, you're living in denial here. Just swallow the pill. You're
blinded by the cuteness.
Settles. Exactly.
They're rascals for sure. Like it's probably like a significantly more like mellow version of like owning a fox. Like they're mischievous. They're gonna do some. You can tell them no all the time, and then as soon as you look away, they're gonna be doing it again. So it's just they know they're doing something down, they're not supposed to do. They're gonna do it. Yep. Exactly, knocking shit off the counter. I was like, I was horrified. I think it was like yesterday or something. I was playing like Palworld. I was just chilling on my computer, just vegging out. Pokemon with guns, just vegging out. I saw some movement just by my monitor, some mammal-like movement, maybe a claw. I was fucking freaked out. My cat was just behind my computer monitor, just jammed up against the wall. I have no idea how it got back there. And it was just chilling behind my computer monitor. Freaked the hell out of me.
I know how the cat got back there. In case you didn't know, cats are liquid.
I guess so, man. It's we got a T2 scenario. We got a liquid metal cat.
There we go.
Phasing through computer monitors. But yeah, that thing freaked me out. Have you played? Have you gotten around to Palworld yet?
No, I've actually. So I've seen all the discourse on Twitter that has been absolutely hilarious to look at. I finally
a lot of seething.
Yeah, and a lot of coping, and I finally end up seeing some footage of Palworld yesterday. And I was like, oh, wait, this Pokemon with guns? And I was like, wait a minute, this looks a lot like the newer Zelda games, actually.
It's a wild blend of like a bunch of shit. I played Ark for maybe like 2 hours or something. I didn't get into Ark. I love survival games.
Yeah.
Was not vibing with Ark. Like I love Rust. I love Valheim. Ark was not my shit, but the tech tree is similar to Ark apparently. But it's like a wild mishmash of everything. It's more heavy on the survival stuff, and and it's not necessarily like if you dislike survival games, you'll dislike it, because one of my buddies that I've been playing with, he fucking hates survival games. Like he was so turned off by Valheim. A lot of people that I like couldn't get into Valheim absolutely love this game, and the Breath of the Wild. As far as like you've got the paraglider, like that's very much there. There's pretty much like a blatant reference in one of the first areas where you see kind of like this broken down church. It's got a statue in it that you can interact with to like do upgrades. So it's very much got some Breath of the Wild vibe. Same exact mechanic for swimming, where it's stamina based, and if you run out of stamina, I presume, I haven't done it, but I presume you die in the water or you start taking damage. It's so fun. The gameplay loop is great, and it's got some bugs here and there, but it hooks you in. Like if you're willing to get like super sucked in, like it's really fucking good, especially if you've been playing like the more recent Pokemons and you've been a little jaded by just how shitty they are, I guess, and like unappealing. And want something that, you know, takes what you love about Pokemon and makes it refreshing and like genuinely good. And, you know, competition breeds innovation, as they say, right? So hopefully this will lead to, you know, Pokemon being on their toes and actually like making, not just like putting out slop because they know like drones of people are just going to like lap it up. Hopefully it makes them, you know, puts their feet to the fire a little bit and they make something they actually try for once. So it could be a win. I think it'll lead to a win-win all around. Maybe Pokemon games will get better as well. We'll see. But as for now, I think I would love it, and I think it would be hilarious if people just start modding Palworld into Pokemon games, just as a middle finger. I think that would be really
because
funny.
The opposite happened, and the person
the opposite happened.
DMCA takedown, I believe.
Nintendo DMCA'd it, so I think it would be really, really funny if people mod Palworld into Pokemon, mod the Pals into Pokemon instead. I would love that. That would be funny. Someone get on that. Someone with too much time, please do that.
Heck yeah. And the funny thing is with that too, the takedown on that, because for anyone who doesn't know, someone did just a full like Ash Ketchum with Pokemon mod within Palworld, and I think
they put that out quick. They they jammed like the Pokemon models into Palworld.
Yeah, and it was working from like what I saw with like the little demo there. But I think that was the thing I knew about the most, which also annoyed me the most, funny enough, because it wasn't just with that. It was more just a lot of people get this information incorrect, where it was a DMCA takedown, but the mod creator said, oh, Nintendo's coming after me. And then it ended up evolving to a lot of people saying, oh, you know, the mod creator was sued. And it's like, he wasn't sued. It was a DMCA takedown. That's what happened.
Yeah, it's wild how much wacky misinformation has gone on because of this game success. It's like the person who was like going on like they stole the meshes of like Pokemon characters and they overlaid. And did you see that it turned out that they like scaled the models to fit each other? Yeah, and they said they did it for to stop animal cruelty. It's like the silliest thing ever. There's just so much. There's the discourse around this game is like so silly. Journalists hate it because they didn't tell you to like it. Apparently, that everyone seems to hate it because, you know, it's just some. I think it's great that just some fucking random people on a $10,000 budget made something like amazing that took off and is actually good. And it's good, successful, it's refreshing. There's no microtransactions or battle pass or any of that BS. You just buy a game that's, you know, got some bugs. It's early access, but it's very refreshing and fun and devoid of a lot of the awful stuff in modern gaming, which is a breath of fresh air.
I think if anything, it also shows too with games that you know, no press is like all press is good press is what I mean, because it's like oh, I've heard like you were bringing up, you know, the controversies and all that stuff, and people are saying this and that and trying to do other things, and it's like, dude, I've seen so many of these things, but it's been like pushing the game just into everyone's feed, funny enough.
Exactly. And yeah, I saw the trailer whenever that came out. I think like maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago, and I saw it. I got hyped. I like, you know, posted in a Discord with like friends, like, look at this. It's Pokemon, but you could like, you know, it's do all this unpleasant stuff, like make them like work in a sweatshop on guns. This is amazing. I had a laugh about it and like was hyped for a day, forgot about it until like, you know, the Monday after, like it had been in everyone's feeds. I was just working all weekend, busting ass, and then come to start looking at stuff again, and everyone's just like consumed in this game. And it was like, oh, holy shit, it came out. I forgot about that. So I jumped in right away because I was hyped whenever the trailer came out, but or right away once I knew it had existed all weekend. But I don't know. I mean, that kind of happened with the Harry Potter thing too, where like there was so much. All you were seeing was the controversy, like boycott this game, don't play this game, like blah blah blah. And that game would have absolutely not come on my radar if it wasn't like a bunch of people telling everyone to boycott the game. Like, so of course I played it. Because
And it's like, oh, hey, this is actually good. Like,
yeah, don't tell me what to do. This looks cool.
It looks like a well done, executed game, like that Hogwarts Legacy. So it was.
To be honest, it's good. It's
Okay.
just not. It's not my cup of tea. It's like it's very like it's open worldy, but it's got like it's got the linear vibes to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's very AAA. Very go through these motions that we want you to go through. I maybe got like 15 hours in, something like that, where it was like kind of starting to open up a little bit, but I was like at least 5-6 hours in and was like, oh my god, still feels like a tutorial. Like everything I do, it's like holding my hand and telling me what to do. And
I feel
some
like
people
they
like
also
that.
they felt like they knew that younger audiences were going to be playing this game, no matter what rating it was going to get.
Totally. And I don't know, the hand holding stuff annoys me quite a bit. I mean, I don't know, they didn't really like, I'm an older gentleman. I grew up with games. They didn't
I'm
really
just
hold
thinking,
your hand
it sounds
like
like
they do.
you're coming from like the NES area.
Coming from at least SNES, like I don't know, I kind of grew up on like SNES, like Link to the Past, stuff like that. Like it was open ended. You had to and it was pre-internet, so it was like you get stuck on something, you got to like ask some kid on the playground, like, what the hell do I do?
Yeah.
Certain things with that era, like that, just like aren't possible now because of the internet. Like when Pokemon came out, like just how it was all like schoolyard rumors about all the shit that's like made it like people still remember, like Missing No. You had to find that out from some weird kid at school that tells you how to do it, and it's like you could talk to like almost anyone at school and they've got some like wild new things for you to try in Pokemon. Like you can get behind the SSN if you do this, and like so much stuff that like wasn't real. But like the Mew truck thing, I don't know where that started, but like I remember just hearing that from kids at school like constantly, like you can find Mew behind a truck. Like
And
I don't know if
like
anyone knows the
knew about it. It
origin
was
of
kind of
this.
like the if you know what I'm talking about, like the German S, or like that really cool S. It's like everyone.
Oh
knew
yeah,
about it
the one that
growing up.
everyone drew.
Everyone drew.
You start
It
with
didn't
3
matter
lines.
where you were at growing up, at least in the U.S. It was like everyone knew about this.
Everyone knew about this. I don't know where it was. Like maybe someone older brother with like dial up. Like, but there's the weird mysteries of the things that were like catching on at that time. Like of like where's the origin of this? Like everyone knew about it. It was so like massive fake rumors. The massive everyone draws this goofy S. I would like to watch a 6-hour documentary from down the rabbit hole of the origins of the S. If they're down to make that would be great.
Actually, that would not be a bad idea for him to make.
He would do a very good job of that. Like, imagine a 6-hour documentary of the S. I would click that immediately. Cancel all my plans for the day.
I do kind of love
out.
when you like run into YouTube videos where it's like, dude, I didn't care about this thing at all, and then like you see it's like, oh wow, that was a really good use of 2 hours of my time. That's incredible.
Absolutely. Yeah. Whenever there's a new Game Dude video, June the King just made one recently.
Okay, I have that. I didn't know about Game Dude until you talked to me about him, but I have that ad. I need to watch that June the King video. Yeah.
Oh, I've watched it like 3 times in the background. God. It is fascinating. It is fascinating. It's dark, but that guy, man, there's something special about that guy.
I think, for anyone who doesn't know, let me know if I'm doing this justice, because I'm trying to do it from a very high level. As someone who doesn't even know that much about it, the quickest way I can summarize Game Dude is he was one of those people who was essentially an AVGN ripoff during the early days of YouTube. He was not good. He tried to do over-the-top satire. He was obsessed with his ratings to the point where anytime his video ratings were like dipping below like 4-point-something stars, he would delete that video, and he kept remaking and re-editing and doing cuts of videos. So like he would do a review of a game, let's say like Smash Bros. Brawl, and no joke, he might have re-uploaded that same video 20, 30 different times. All of those are different.
And would always lose subscribers because people were sick of it. Like his videos would constantly be in people's feed because he'd take them down and like make a really small edit. And so he was, super sensitive to negative feedback, so obviously he got more and more negative feedback because people were trolling him.
But apparently he was known for that, and then at one point in the background, his girlfriend ended up breaking up with him, and there was all this drama about it. So then he ended up deleting all the videos on his channel that were actual Game Dude, and he ended up uploading a bunch of cringe videos trying to get her back. He
lip syncing to Imagine.
Yeah, he tried. He had to go to court about it. He also remade this whole thing in a 3D, I think in Blender, explaining that he was not stalking her. He was just at the same place as her, and through all of these trees could kind of sort of see her. He had about a 2-hour video where he reenacted their relationship and their breakup using toy dinosaurs, and then he's mostly disappeared off the internet. He was in Canada, but he disappeared to Mexico and maybe now Hong Kong.
You've got for someone who prefaces is correct me if I'm wrong, you were lasered in. You're nailed.
Really?
You're out of the park.
Okay. I'm glad I kind of got the high level, not so much an elevator pitch, but it's hey, let's ride this elevator to the top and to the bottom, and I can tell you about Game Dude.
Yeah, absolutely. So anyone listening to this, you don't have to watch that June the King video now. Mario did a pretty good job.
And I'm sorry that I subjected everyone to that.
Yeah, it's a wild. It fascinates me. That one, I'm just it's one of those, it's a train wreck that you look at it and you're like, it's puzzling, it's fascinating. There's a weird dark beauty to just how unhinged and strange that was. And I'll say this: I don't think he was that. He was top tier, I would say, for any of the AVGN clones, because there was a lot. And he was actually
no, man. My favorite is still the pissed off video gamer.
Is that Russian dude?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's funny.
He is still my favorite of all the clones. Funny. Yeah, and it was, dude, I discovered him so early on, too, back in the day, his original channel before he was doing the re-uploads, and it's funny, because, then, over the years, he ended up being known for some of the stuff, the Nintendo shit cube, and the memes, and all that, and it was to the point where, I was literally, I showed my friends these videos, and, 5 years later, one of my best friends, he's on his phone, and he has a weird look on his face, he's like, dude, come here, look at this. And I'm like, what? He's like, this is the guy you showed me before, right? And it's the gif, I know you've seen it. It's the gif of him, I think, being punched by a character and Punch Out or something, and he falls back on his chair and the camera ends up shaking. And I'm like, yeah, that's the pissed off video gamer. He's like, what the fuck? You showed me this guy 5 years ago.
Oh man, that shit's legitimately funny, and it's definitely one of those I don't know how much of it. I mean, it's definitely a room situation where it's the so bad it's good, and questionable of how much of this is intentional. Yep. Intentionally bad, and that's the shtick, or are we laughing at him? Are we laughing with him? Who knows? But that shit's really funny. Yeah, with Game Dude, I feel he was I wouldn't say I like that dude's videos or his scripts or whatever, but he was, as far as effort for the time, well edited. 3.5, I think a 3.5 minute intro theme song, which is outrageously funny to me. He just there's 5 verses, and at least 3 courses, and it just drags on, and it's a catchy song. It's a legitimately good song that goes on way too long just as a song that you would listen to. That's already way too long. Mm-hmm. But as an intro theme song that plays every single time, I find it hilarious. Mm-hmm. I think that's a funny idea that someone should do ironically. Yeah. Just make a theme song, just a channel intro that you just constantly. There's a lot of pauses, so you constantly think it's over, and then it just keeps going. I think that would be great. Someone do that.
No, that's I need to see this June the King video. I've only seen 1 or 2 videos on Game Dude, but I didn't know about
his. Might be the definitive one. It's really
June goes all out on those ones. I was gonna say, and I didn't want to get too into this one, but I don't know if you follow Mama Max at all.
Oh, I've loosely seen some of that, and I've definitely clicked on some like I don't know if it was like a Tom Dark video or something, and like was trying to like didn't know who that guy was until whatever's going on now, and I was trying to get hip to like trying to follow it, and I didn't know what the fuck anyone was talking about, and I just lost interest immediately, basically. But yeah, no, I know there's some shit going on. I was like, I clicked a thing or two, and I didn't know the guy to begin with, and anything I did see I found confusing and lost interest.
Sure. So and that's how the most recent thing has been. So like I watched his videos, I was a fan of him, and he did for anyone who doesn't know, like he did a whole lot of different videos, like gaming related videos, talking about life related videos, but then he ended up getting his current like edgy Hotline Miami like dark voice persona type thing when he was doing pedophile hunting videos, which like those will always do well online because like, hey, nobody likes pedophiles. So
absolutely,
yeah, so those were doing incredibly well. But in his most recent situation, a lot of stuff has more come out of like, I guess he tried to kind of do a viral type thing by fake calling out other content creators and saying, hey, they should be covering this stuff, but they're not. But we're going to be covering this one person
he
here.
Had like he's targeting like critical or something. Like
yeah. And I guess the guy that Mama Max was trying to out is allegedly a person who is like, who is a pedophile, who is luring people over to their place, but is also they believe they're a vampire, and there's this whole big vampire cult about them. Yeah. So the fun thing was, I watched like 2 videos about this, right? And it was just all over the place. And the funny thing was, because this is like it's so funny when you see this stuff, like you see the reaction of someone who's out of the sphere, because like you and I are like in the YouTube sphere where it's like, oh, okay, this is just like a weird thing, whatever. It's like, for example, like if Chris Chan does something awful, it's like, oh, okay, well that was kind of expected there. And then you realize, oh, the greater internet doesn't really know about this stuff. This is still kind of niche, even if it gets 200,000-300,000 views on a video, whatever it is. So what will happen is like, if my girlfriend and I like we're spending time together, we've been spending like time in the living room, like we're both like together but doing our own thing, where it's like she could be watching like some K-dramas and I'm playing Final Fantasy or something, or like she's watching some on the TV, I'm on my Switch, and we both have like our own like junk consumptions where she's like, oh yeah, you know, my K-drama here, this is just like, it's like my garbage TV that I like to have, like I have it in the background,
like Slop.
Exactly.
YouTube Slop like that is the modern day like Maury Povich or Jerry Springer, I guess.
There we go.
Some slop in the background.
Yeah, and it's great because it's like with like her Korean dramas, like I'll kind of like half pay attention and like, oh, okay, that's going on, and then she describes like some of the backstory, and it's like, wow, this is really crazy, but I also see why these are so popular, because this is a lot juicier than like a lot of the American stuff that's over here. But there was one of those days, like on the side, she had some K-dramas playing. I had a couple of videos from like talking about this situation with Mom Max playing on there. And like occasionally she would kind of like zone out of her own thing, and she'd like look over at my screen and just see something that's like, oh, okay, this dude who believes in like a werewolf vampire cult is now just like screaming at the camera. And she just has this like weird look on her face of like disbelief. And I'm just like, look, it's not like that I always seek out this stuff, but it's fascinating to me, because you got to realize like there's people who think this stuff is like 100% real. These are like real people right here, and that's why it's so fascinating to look at. And she's like, wow, okay, no, I get it. Like,
werewolf.
I get it.
Wait, so werewolf, vampire.
I don't even know if it was werewolf, but it was definitely, it was like a like pedophile vampire cult, essentially.
Damn.
Yeah.
That sounds like a terrible band name.
Yeah, it could be, but like the thing is, it's just you see this and it's like, yeah, you could like easily dismiss it as YouTube drama, and it is, but then if you like pay a little bit of attention to it, it's like, wow, this is like so bad, because this is like,
that's
this
insane.
Will, like, it's insane. It will envelop people's lives with this stuff. Like people live this way.
It's got pedophiles. It's got vampires.
Exactly.
It's got it all. That's fucking insane.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's like, okay. I guess there's
See, as soon as someone says vampire pedophile, I'm like, I'm out. This is too insane.
It's like you're
to even
tapping out.
listen to. Yeah, like what the fuck am I being told right now? This is nuts.
That's fair. I mean, if we need a palate cleanser here, there was also another bad thing that I was talking with a friend about. Not as bad as you'd expect, though, but the way she described it. Have you ever heard of puppy bias?
Puppy bias. No.
Yeah. It's when, in this example, two dogs, one of them's an adult dog, one of them's a puppy, the puppy gets away with a lot more stuff. While as the adult dog will not get as much attention, they will get blamed for things, they will get reprimanded for doing things that the puppy does. The puppy can do those exact same things. They don't get reprimanded.
Yeah, I think that's natural. That's definitely happened in this cat scenario I have here where the younger one, she gets away with murder.
You had a kitten bias?
Yeah, absolutely. Still to this day, because she's very small. She's much smaller than the full-grown cat, and she gets away with shit.
I got you.
It's just so cute. She's just so cute when she's fucking up. It's so hard to be mad at her. And she's so sensitive she's so sensitive if I yell at her. She's like, why?
And then you feel bad about it.
I feel bad. She's real sassy.
Yeah.
She'll sit on my lap. And just dig her like head and just go full like dead weight, and then if I need to get up, I start picking her up. She'll be like, "Arr!" Like she'll get like all like bitchy kind of growl. Then I'll stop and then just like right back to just like dead weight. Like, okay, everything's fine.
Because it was clearly your fault for doing something that the cat did not want to do. That's clearly your fault in her mind.
It was my fault for needing to get up, I guess.
Exactly. Yeah. How dare you get up? Yeah. But
how dare.
No, what happened with this was, so one of my best friends, she loves pugs, so that's going to be a important like background information thing here. But she has told me like she loves my dog Lily, for example, and she's like, no, I actually like older dogs. I like senior dogs because they're a lot more chill, and I like them a lot more. But then her boyfriend ended up getting a pug puppy at one point, and this is like the exception for her, because like it's not that she's not crazy about puppies is essentially how it is, just because like puppies can be a whole lot. So at one point, like her roommate ended up getting a puppy, and she was like, hey, you want to get one? Cool. I'm not helping with it. And then it kind of brought up issues because the roommate's just all this drama of like the roommate's like, oh my God, like you were going to help out and, you don't spend any time with the puppy. And she's like, dude, I said at the beginning of this, like, you know me, I'm not really that crazy about puppies. Like, I'm not going to help out. It's not my dog, whatever. So what happened was her boyfriend ended up getting a pug puppy. Absolutely melted her heart. She's like sending me photos about this dog. She'll tell me about this dog. She's like, oh, look what we did to the puppy. Look, and then we did this and we dressed up. I'm like, oh, okay, that's cute. Sure. I'm not crazy about pugs, but whatever. I'm not going to knock it. But what happened was I called her out on this recently because it turns out like this whole other time, her boyfriend has another dog who is bigger, who's older, and not even like old, maybe like a 2 or 3 year old dog who's this like adorable, like black husky type mix. And she showed me pictures and I'm like, what the, this is a crime. They haven't even mentioned this dog. You haven't showed it to me until this point. Like, this dog is adorable. So then the last time we ended up seeing each other, she was just like, I'm realizing now I'm trying to be a little better about it because I realize I have puppy bias, because it was actually what you said. When you had told me that, I was like, wow, I didn't realize, I take all these photos and videos and talk about the pug all the time, and I don't do that with the older dog. And that's kind of also going against what I've said.
I think it's human instinct.
It is.
I think. I mean, you see that probably happen. I mean, it's probably more devastating with humans and kids and children and shit.
Sure.
But I think that probably happens. Probably happens all the time.
Well,
you have a new kid, the youngest child thing. It's exactly that, right? Where the youngest child is like spoiled.
Yeah,
it's
thing
exactly that.
The thing with this, though, is that she, even like the exception to this, is that historically she doesn't really like puppies that much. She doesn't vibe with puppies that much. But this is a pug puppy, so she went all nuts about it. And she's like, yeah, no, I didn't realize, like, I was doing what I hate. And then she kind of zoomed out a little bit. She's like, wow, no, like, The older dog, like, he will do stuff and we'll reprimand him, but then the puppy does something and we allow it, whatever it is. So that's when she had introduced like puppy bias to me, told me about that, and I'm like, okay, that makes sense there. I got it. But like you said, human nature, I feel like I have a little bit of that as well too.
Yeah, totally. Everybody's human. You get a new thing, you're stoked on it, and then sometimes it's a living thing. And you're stoked on it. I think it just happens. It's just how it goes. But you gotta. It's probably best to acknowledge it and try to share the attention between the animals or whatever. But I think it is definitely organically happens.
Yeah.
Whether you're conscious of it or not.
Yep.
That's something that's going to be a thing for, I think, a vast majority of people.
Yeah. One thing that's helped out quite a bit is another one of my best friends. He used to, when he was growing up, he would actually train seeing eye dogs and such, and dogs that would like help out people who had disabilities and all that. And those dogs have to be perfect. Like, they cannot be good, they cannot be great, they cannot be pretty good. They have to be perfect. Because nothing can distract them, and they have to always be there for their human. So he ended up, learning how to train dogs really well. But when he ended up getting his own dog, I noticed he'd gotten his dog as a puppy, and he was very strict with her. I remember like one of the examples was that she was like chewing on an old towel he had. And he would not let her do that. He was like, no, you can snuggle with the towel, you can sleep with it, you cannot chew it. As soon as she chewed it, he'd reprimand her, he'd take it away. And I was asking, I was like, oh, dude, it's not a big deal. Like, it's, she's cute. And he's like, here's the thing. You got to realize it's cute because she's small. She is a puppy right now. You have to imagine, but she's only going to be a puppy temporarily. You have to imagine this dog doing the same thing when they're 50, 75, or 100 pounds, and it's not cute anymore. So you have to stop it when they're a puppy.
Yeah, that's the smart approach. It's hard to reprimand such a cute thing for destroying shit and being cute while doing it, I think. But yeah, I don't know. I totally get the struggle because my younger kitty's always up to mischief, and you have a hard time saying like get down or stop doing that or whatever. 'Cause especially with her, she'll respond. She'll be like, like kind of do like gets real upset when you're yelling at her. But
Yep.
And then it's like, oh, okay, you're fine. Break that thing. I don't care. You're too cute.
Yep.
It's a tough tightrope to balance on. But it's probably better to scold them if they're fucking up when they're young. But
Exactly.
it's only natural to be, if it's a cute puppy, cute kitten.
Yep.
Whatever. It's only natural to want to be like, just keep doing that. You're fine.
One thing I've had to tell people is a lot of people, they don't realize it until you tell them and you really identify the behavior. But a lot of people show their love with food, especially with animals. And you got to be like, no. If you're going to overfeed this animal, you are doing them a disservice. Like, you can show them you love with them without using food.
Absolutely. Yeah. They do love food though.
Oh, absolutely.
They do love food.
Yeah. But then the thing that we run into is like people like look at my dog and there's like, oh, well, can I give her food? Oh, I want to get, and it's cute when she eats. And they're just like, oh, well, she's hungry. Well, she's looking at me. She's starving. She's hungry. I'm like, if you leave it up to her, she's going to keep, like, dogs will keep eating. If you give them food, they'll keep eating food until they throw up, and then they'll eat that, and then they'll keep going. Like, no, it's not that she's hungry. She just knows that if she gives you the puppy dog eyes and stares at you when you are in the kitchen or you have food, there's a chance she's going to get food. Stop feeding her.
Yeah. She's being manipulative.
Exactly.
So that's what I kind of like, the low maintenance with cats or whatever. I know not everyone does it this way, but, we just kind of leave like a full bowl of like dry food and they just ration themselves. They don't like eat until it's gone. It's but some people they've got like a dedicated like feeding hour or whatever for their cats, and they'll they'll run in and they'll like chow down like until it's done. I don't know, they seem to do a pretty good job of rationing themselves. I don't have there's no obesity going on.
That's
and then
good.
Wet food, wet food they get real hype for. But with the dry food, it's just there. like top it off if it's running low. They're not constantly eating. They'll go over and nibble on it here and there, and I don't know. Cats are pretty good about that.
Yeah, they're not as crazy about it, which that makes sense.
Yeah.
I think
I don't know if you can do that with a dog. I feel like there are like the dog dispenser like things, right, where like you fill it up with dry food and
There
it's just
are,
there.
yeah. And then my best friend who he's, I said he trained dogs for, he actually was able to do that with his dog. I don't think as much now, but for some time he would just give the entire measured allotment of what his dog needed for the day, dump it into her bowl, and she would eat half of it in the morning and then go around, do her thing, and then around dinner time she would go there, eat the other half, be all good.
Damn,
Yeah, but she was incredibly well trained.
that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you probably gotta get them on that like young, like get them on that schedule of like just being able to ration themselves or whatever.
Yeah, you were even saying what kind of just like putting out the food for your cats and stuff. I don't know if you've ever like disappeared like on vacation for a few days, like what exactly you do, but I have had friends who they have a cat or two, they do that. And yeah, it's amazing how like with cats you can just
I don't
check
trust
out.
that.
You don't? Okay.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't. I would be like stressed the fuck out. Like I'll have somebody, just like somebody's got to at least like drop by every day, make sure fucking, they haven't gone feral. It's not like a feral ghoul situation going on.
I did that. Yeah, like I did that with one of my friends, her cat. I was checking on it every other day. My other friends, I know they had someone checking in every like 3 days. And from what I've gathered, most of the time, cats will love it when you're gone. If anything, it's like, no, don't take them out of their environment because they're gonna get stressed out. Keep them there.
Yeah.
But if anything, they're just gonna be. You are a disturbance when you're there most of the time. They are happy when
Right.
there's no one there, when they have the house to themselves.
Yeah, they're stoked. They're doing their own thing. Yeah, I like it. That's what I like, the low maintenance, and everyone says that shit. They're needy. It's like they're needy like once in a while, and like and it's nice, but most of the time they're content like looking out a window, hanging out, licking themselves, like they're chilling. they're just being chilling constantly.
Yep.
And it's nice. Yeah, I love dogs, but I like them very much more. And like, oh, I'll pet your dog for a moment, as opposed to like just the they're very much. You got to build your life around having a dog. You got to take them on the walk this time. I guess it's good for getting people on schedules. You got to walk your dog. You got to big responsibility with a dog.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's
and then dog people are so friendly. It annoys the hell out of me. I have all these very big dog walker neighborhood, and everyone's just like chipper, like, "Hey, how's it going?" I'm like, "You're sketchy. I don't know about that. No one's that happy. What's your deal? What's with all these dog walkers being happy all the time?"
I think it's the endorphins, man. You get that when you're just out, you're walking your dog and everything. That's one thing I've had. The benefit is that you get to see what's going on with the neighborhood, and you get to see where people are at and what they're doing. Downside is everybody then knows you. Because like
right.
like I'll go to like and I'll go to like one neighborhood event every few years, and everyone there's like, "Oh, I know you have that black dog that you walk. Yeah, you have that dog that you walk. Oh, I see you walk by my house every day. Yeah, you got that one dog." And I'm like, "Wow, I don't know any of y'all people, and everyone knows me."
Yeah, dude. Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, that's how it goes. It's fun.
Totally.
Yeah.
Well, what are your thoughts on this Mig Switch?
That was the next thing I was gonna bring up. All right, yeah.
There's some telepathy going on.
Truly, man. No, so I'm personally not going to be getting one. I did not try to pre-order one. I did not try to buy one. I did not ask for a review copy. Was not contacted for one. It has been confusing getting this thing rolled out and seeing it here. And for anyone who does not know, we're getting to modding a little bit here. This is a flash cartridge for the Nintendo Switch, where it will allow you to, on a completely stock console, so far on the latest firmware, with no other mods, you can take your cartridge dumps of games, you can put them on a micro SD card, put it into this cartridge that is shaped and has a circuitry of a regular Switch game cart, and then you can put it in, and it will mount it as an actual game cartridge. So it's cool to see that there. It doesn't seem like the price. The price seems to be kind of all over. Where it looks like I guess the MSRP is like $65-$70, but it seems like that's kind of the sticker price to make it look nice, because I've seen like shipping, or like when it comes to other places, people are trying to sell it for around $100. But it looks like there's two components to it. There's the Mig Switch cartridge, which is what you need to actually do the fun stuff you want to, and there's the Mig Switch dumper, which is just a switch cartridge to USB Type-C interface where you plug it into your computer, and you can just dump the ROMs and all the required files from your game cartridges from the game card dumper itself. My opinion on this is, like, I think at a technical level, I always find this stuff neat, but when it comes to the actual usage of it here, it's going to be incredibly easy for bans to happen of not only the cartridges but also systems and accounts. People are
that was my very first like concern was like, oh, this is gonna the used market for. I didn't even think about the games, but just like the used console. I have since thought about the games, but initially like the consoles, I'm just like, dude, there's just gonna be so many, like, and who knows, maybe they'll loosen up. Maybe they don't want the market being flooded with a bunch of like mysteriously banned consoles or whatever. But that's most likely going to be a thing. I think it's neat, but it's very much like from a technical level, like I'm impressed that something like that works. Like that's cool. But yeah, as far as like a usage thing and like the way it's been presented so far of like needing to constantly eject it and insert it to toggle between games is borderline unusable to me. Like that's like, imagine you've got like a collection of 100 games and you're trying to get to Z, or like you skip past the fucking game you finally got to and you got to fucking circle back like by ejecting it a million times.
And that's
like
a problem.
Crazy.
Like if you have a large collection, it's not going to be very good doing this on here. Now you can, how do I put it? I think this would be good for like 5 or 10 games. But yeah, when it comes to that, it's not going to be as usable. A lot of people also have really needed their expectations tempered on it, because people have said, I've seen a lot of this where people have said, oh, this is going to be revolutionary for the Switch modding scene. It's not going to change anything. People have said, oh, well, this will be really good for finding an entry point, like an exploit-based game. No, we're not going to be getting that. Like, Horizon OS is incredibly secure at this point. You know, we had the RCM exploit, we had the warm boot hacks, and at this point we have glitching for all the latest stuff.
Right.
And then when it comes to it, it's like, even if you just want to pirate games on it, so many cartridges, the version, like the 1.0 version, is completely different than the latest version. You cannot, it's been confirmed, like you can't seem to, because essentially, like, if everything is signed and hashed properly, you can use a completely like stock cartridge dump, but you cannot repack it. Like you cannot create like a super XCI with DLC and updates and all that stuff.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so you won't be
so
able
you'll still need access to like the NSPs of, you know, DLC and updates, right?
Exactly.
As opposed to packing it into whatever format they choose.
And on a stock system, especially if you only have one system, that's going to be much harder to do, or even, you know, impossible if you're just like pirating all the games and stuff. Or even if you have them legitimately, it will just be more annoying. The thing that keeps entering my head here, I guess kind of,
I mean, if they're legitimate, I mean, you can like, you know, you'll put them all on the thing, and then fucking you know, it should all be signed properly if it's not shared with a zillion people. That's your own games. I imagine it would be fine. I'm sure there's probably a good chance that like you're using a flashcart, it would be detectable.
Oh yeah.
But I think they really only give a shit about piracy.
Well, actually, the funny thing is with it being detectable, I believe like Mike Heskin or Hex Keys, I didn't even know about this, but I mean, this dude, he's been reversing the firmware itself, Horizon OS, for years. He was reversing SX OS as well too. He's worked on Atmosphere. I didn't even know about this. Apparently, I think after like firmware 9.0.0 or something, there is now a count to see how many times you cycle a cartridge. So quite literally, they can use that as a flag if they see that, oh, for some reason, you are cycling the game cartridge in your console 300 times.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, banning on that would be crazy because you never know. Fucking some kids just fucking clicking it down a bunch of times, but it could definitely lead to like, okay, that flag's set, and then these other scenarios too. It's probably this or that. I don't know. I think it could be neat. Like ultimately, like the way I think of it is very much like if it's like obviously it's not gonna like run unsigned code or whatever.
Oh no,
no. On a stock system, but potentially if you can, if it have like say a non-stock system and you want to run unsigned code, and that unsigned code happens to be some sort of bootloader that can like actually that can simulate via software, a zillion toggling, or if you can just switch to what you want to boot up, like that would make I could see that making it cool, just because it would like essentially double your storage that you can have on. You've got your SD card slot, and then potentially you can pull your eMMC. It's not simple, but I mean you can dump your onboard memory, the eMMC, and then upgrade to something larger like a 256 or probably 512 onboard. So you can go gnarly there. You can do like 1.5 terabyte, I think is the max for SD, and then double that where you've got a cartridge. You put your, you've got your NSPs, like your DLC, all that shit. That's on your, similar to like 360. If you've got all your DLCs going on your internal hard drive, like that's where it's got to go. Whereas like, so that's how it's going to be for any like DLC or updates and all of that. Like that's going to be going on either your SD card or the internal memory. But like cartridge based stuff can all be on the external thing. And if something like that happens, then I can definitely see like it being a really like, then I would be interested like as like in a device like that, like something that it opens up for double storage, similar to like any of the I don't know if the software is up for it, but or up to date with it, but the various things like the like that Wii U adapter that Voltar made to fix the Wii U's with an SD card, the SD card to the NAND, the SD to eMMC kind of thing. Like just beyond fixing it, I mean, like the potential of like using some cheapo SD like flash card to like significantly like increase the amount of internal storage size of something like that, or even the 360. I don't think anything like that's out, but I mean it's probably being worked on. It's definitely, I think it's possible. Might need some software to catch up to like patch like a 4 gigabyte Corona to run like a terabyte internal SD card.
That'd be cool.
I mean, I think that would be rad. I think that would be super rad. I would love to eventually just do that on my Wii U, because that's just, I haven't touched my Wii U in forever. I'm sure like you, I've like set up, like if I have a console that can be like modded and pimped out, I'm going to do it for myself.
Oh, absolutely.
And Wii U, I definitely did when I got one, and haven't played with it much. But one thing specifically I remember being really annoying about it, like if you're trying to go with like a Wii U that plays Wii U games and it plays and you can do like the basic Wii stuff, was that the Wii U stuff needed to all be on one format, which wasn't like a standard formatted drive. It was like you plug your external into the Wii U and format it for the Wii U, and that's not compatible with any of the regular Wii stuff. So it's like, I don't know. I could definitely see a use case for like the NAND, like just being like put a 1 terabyte internally, and that's my Wii U. That's my Wii U storage. And then if I want more, I could do like maybe a big SD card in the Wii U slot. Because just you know, needing an external hard drive for like a specific system, I don't love it. You know, like I don't want to have a 360 with a 16 terabyte external hooked up to it, you know.
I get that. Yeah. You're talking about with like the XL USB formatted drives. Yeah,
exactly.
And I think with the Wii U as well, you can use just like a USB flash drive, but if you use an external hard drive, you almost always have to get a one of those Y splitter cables if it's like a USB 3.0 one, because you need like more power.
The extra juice, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, I remember running into that with PS3 as well. PS3 is like the one exception where I've got like a fucking massive external hard drive. Like I think I told you about this, probably not on the I definitely didn't get around to making a video on it, but I was my PS3 okay, it's convoluted. Maybe there's a link to GBA temp for like how I set this up, and it's for the Wii, but you have to get a Western Digital drive, like a specific one. Some will work, some won't work, and it could be whatever size. And then there's a Western Digital formatting software utility that you can format it so it in like a compatibility mode for like Windows XP and like Windows 95 and shit like that. So you can literally format like a giant 16 terabyte 32 whatever hard drive to be FAT32, which just isn't possible like any other way. Like you can only go up to 2 terabytes with FAT32. It's like the max. So I was able to do that for my PS3 collection, just to have it be like, I know there's the NTSC, like you can do that, and like it's like mostly the NTFS fine type
stuff for like exFAT.
Yeah, it's just not native, and it's you run into other weird little issues there. So it's just, you know, exFAT is, or FAT32 generally for a lot of these things, it's like if you can get your thing formatted FAT32, generally you run into less headaches unless you're gonna have to split large files. But you know, when it comes to actually using it, it's I don't know, just after like all of the wacky shit with Switch and their exFAT drivers being like really fucked up, I've just been like, okay, if it can do FAT32, I'm doing FAT32.
Yeah,
like,
you're
for everything.
You're scarred from it. Yeah, well, even there's other times too where, especially for like flash carts or I guess flash carts, or even just optical drive emulators for certain systems. I say like the let's say Dreamcast or like the Saturn, for example, where typically they take like FAT32 or exFAT, and I just go with FAT32 on there because some people might do exFAT, 100%. But it's like, well, why? Because like, first of all, FAT32 with modding stuff, it just seems to work better. But secondly, it's like, okay, this is Saturn, so the games are not going to be over 700 megabytes ever. Or the Dreamcast, you know, they're going to be at most, you know, just over a gigabyte. You're not going to run into a Dreamcast or a Saturn game that's going to be above 4 gigabytes, like per disc. So it's
just not possible. There's no scenario where you need where exFAT benefits you, and something that old, and something like pre-DVD. Even GameCube, like I know Swiss is supposed, like Swiss works with exFAT. FAT32, but and I had used exFAT before, but I think I remember like somebody telling me at some point in time, like, oh no, just do FAT32. It's someone ran into some problem using exFAT or whatever. So it's just, I don't know. I just feel like if you've got the option between the two, definitely, especially if it like the games aren't over 4 gigabytes, like just go FAT32 like off the rip, because at least historically, and it seems the you know, with the modding scene with modded consoles, like historically exFAT is, if it is supported, it, you know, that's where you see people running into issues outside of, you know, file transferring ones that are over 4 gigabytes.
Exactly.
And it was bad on the Switch. Like it was like, you know, straight up corrupted SD cards.
Yeah,
and,
the only issues,
major headaches.
Yeah, the only issues I ran into with exFAT on the Switch myself, but I'm a believer. I converted to FAT32. A couple of them was, I think the first one, I didn't experience this myself, but I know one of the Pokemon games, it seemed to, it was just wiping out SD cards, completely stock. and it seemed to be related to the XFAT driver. The other one was myself personally when RE3 and X ended up releasing. I noticed that I'd be able to play for maybe a few hours, and then my game would corrupt or my save would corrupt, and I would lose all my progress on there. And
that's the kind of shit. That was the kind of shit that I was seeing with, and it was hard to troubleshoot because it was like real obtuse and inconsistent issues of just like shit was just working. Now it's wonky. Like, what's going on? Like, it was not easy to even diagnose. Like,
And I remember with RE3, I tried it on like 2 different systems. I tried it on 2 different custom firmwares because we had SXOS at the time. The only thing that actually fixed it was switching to FAT32. Once I did that, I was able to play through the game in its entirety. I didn't have crashes. I never had any other issues after that.
Yeah, it took me a while to be a believer as well. Just as like,
because it was just so convenient.
I don't know. It's working
files,
fine.
You know, if you're just like mounting like, you know, your big XCI files at the time, it's just copy and paste them, and it's all in the internal. And like you were saying, you don't want to have the external drive, so you don't have to worry about that there. So it was nice and convenient.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
it was very much way more convenient, but especially before like all the real convenient shit started coming out. Like there's definitely one, like there's a gold leaf version, and then there's a what's it called, a tinfoil version where it's like you hook your switch up via USB-C, and you know you can access like files on your PC. And
I know what you're talking about.
Transfer, you know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
Yeah, that's super convenient. But before that, it was like manually split it and then transfer over FTP, or pull your SD card, plug it in, transfer, split the file, transfer it, bring it back, install it. You know, it's definitely like a pain in the ass, but and it was hard to get like a lot of people to switch over. But like the amount of messages I got from fucking people who like were like just like, nah, XFAT's working fine. Like
it's like it'll work fine for now at least.
Yeah, people find like I got a lot of like messages from people who were just like, oh, you were right. I finally got boned by XFAT, you know.
Yep.
Like, and it was always catastrophic. It was very much like losing, like your SD card's just fucked.
Yep.
And you gotta format it, and hopefully that's not where hopefully your saves were stored on the internal memory.
Yep.
And like you didn't just like offload them to the SD card or whatever, because that would be bad news.
Yeah, I think I want to say, I think on my stock systems, I can't remember if I'm using XFAT or FAT32, because if you put a large micro SD card and you just plug it in on stock, it will just default to XFAT. But I know, at least, I think I'm FAT32 right now, but I know I used XFAT on stock for years. I did not play that Pokemon game that was running into issues, but aside from that, if you use your system as intended, it seems to work fine, but it was running into all the issues, of course, like when you were modding it. But when you're modding it, just go with FAT32.
Yeah, I would still say, and then God, I want to credit him correctly. But I forget his exact username. Was like M2. It's like 4 letters / numbers. He was the dev of the N64.
Is it M4XW
retro
maybe?
Yeah.
Okay.
I remember it was him that I saw a post like it saying that it's it had nothing to do with modding. It's like the drivers that Nintendo used for XFAT have problems, and it was eventually going to be a issue for legitimate stuff, and then the Pokemon thing ended up happening and fucked a lot of people over. So it's better safe than sorry. It's definitely going to be way more common on like custom firmware switches. Seem to have like consistently everyone runs into issues eventually with that, but like, you know, why not just play it safe? Even if you have a vanilla switch, you've got an SD card in it, just plug it into your computer, format it FAT32, and then get going. If you're already set up, fucking back it up, format it, drag everything back over. Like,
all right, sorry about that. I had to step away for a bit, so we'll just slide back into conversation here. I think the last thing we were talking about was the XFAT driver, how that would cause issues eventually down the road for stock users, and then Pokemon got hit with that.
Yeah, exactly. And before we get into that, have you heard of this book called The Bible?
Of course.
I'm just fucking with you. Yeah, no, I mean, for anyone out there that's like rocking a Switch, if that was a silly thing to say. Anyone out there still rocking a Switch, you got your SD card. I'd pop it out and plug it in and right click it, go to properties and see if it's exFAT or FAT32. Whether you're modded or not modded, it doesn't matter. But yeah, I would if you're on exFAT, I think it's probably safest to just format FAT32, back your shit up first, format it FAT32, drag everything back over, because when exFAT on a Switch does go sideways, it is pretty catastrophic. You end up with a lot of corrupt shit. Nothing seems to be working right. It's real hard to. It's easy to diagnose if you've seen it a couple times, but it's really inconsistent, and something can act like fine, and then it's not acting fine, and then just be all over the place. Like the issues when exFAT becomes an issue, and I'm not a software guy. I couldn't tell you what's wrong with the drivers there, but something's definitely fucked up, and it's better just go FAT32. Either way, stock or not stock, it's as if it fails, it's going to be a bummer, depending on how much stuff you have stored on your SD card.
I think the biggest thing that people run into, which hey, I'm a part of this as well too, is when it comes to it, it's like, well, I already have mine set up as exFAT. Even if you're stock, it's like I already have it set up as exFAT, and I'm already doing this here, and it's working fine, especially on stock, like I said. So there's and when you have those bigger micro SD cards, like in my Switch, I think I have a 512 at this point in there. Yeah. So it's kind of No, I got a 1 terabyte. I end up upgrading to 1 terabyte. Yeah, so it's like, so that is a pain to just, I got to take it. I got to copy all the 500-600 gigabytes worth of data to my computer, then format it, then copy it back to the micro SD card. So a lot of people don't want to do that. So
absolutely, especially if you have the partition emunan, that makes it a real big drag. Which is why the SD based emunan got pretty good. So I've been on that kick for years now, and it's just so much more convenient if you need to update your if you're upgrading your SD card, if you're doing anything.
That is true.
When you've got the partition one,
you just copy paste
transfer the file. Copy paste, as opposed to I used to have a video on how to do it, and it definitely wasn't a fun process. I think you had to make an image of it and then burn that image to the new SD card and then take it into some sort of ease use partition master and extend the partition out, because it's going to be a smaller size. I need to look into it.
I think it's a bit better now. I think you're
Is it better now?
I think you're essentially able to do some of the stuff in Hecate where you're able to dump out your MMC as raw as files, and then you format your new micro SD card. You put your new one into the Switch with Hecate running. You have to partition it on there, and then you end up migrating, and you're able to when you go and create or you migrate your MMC, it's able to take that raw file setup that you have, and then it just plops that into the partition and something like that.
Totally. And there's a rad app that's over on GBA Temp that you can convert between them. I think it's called MU Tool. Okay.
You can select different MUMCs or something, or
yeah, it's basically got an input and output. So it's you toggle between say it's on your SD card, it's the input SX MUNAND whatever, and then you choose the location, and then output atmosphere SD file. You can convert between them using that. I haven't messed around with that too much, but had some success with it. There was a lot of headaches going from SX based emunans just in general to converting them to atmosphere. A lot of times it just wouldn't work right. I definitely on my Switch Lite, my personal one, I just said fuck it, and I think I converted it, and once I did, it would constantly either the Switch wouldn't boot, or it would it would freeze at at one of the two initial logos, or it wouldn't freeze, or it would hang up there for a while. It was messy, so I just started over at that point, and I think and you can definitely do that in a way that's not as much of a pain in the ass where you go through, you use JKSV to back up all your saves, or you can even use like the PC application to like extract all your saves or whatever, and then just re-inject them once you remake it. But it's definitely not fun no matter what. Thankfully, most people who have migrated or wanted to, most people still, and everyone's migrated to Atmosphere by now.
For sure. And with that, I think this is actually a good point here, because we were talking about the Mig Switch, and we kind of went all over the place with Atmosphere drivers and all that. And there's two things I think of with this, with the Mig Switch, going back to it, and then kind of, I don't mind capping it off here, but one of them is I think this solution would have been much better if it was earlier in the system's life cycle. And I'd said it in a mod chat episode. And typically you do see things like this. You see a monetized hardware solution that is much better than any of the free open source or just free options there. And then over the years, as the free stuff ends up getting better, and as the hardware stuff ends up getting not supported anymore, the free options end up becoming the better options. Like at this point,
like 3DS for sure. We saw
3DS,
that.
Absolutely, or even
PS3,
like
100%.
PS3, we had the Cobra ODE, but now nobody uses that thing at all. People have not even heard of it. It's all
most people don't even know about it.
Yeah, so you have that now. So I think this being so late into the system's life cycle, when we have all the glitch chips available, we have a really good custom firmware, we have some pretty set standards for everything, it's not going to be as great. The people who are purchasing this thinking it's going to be exactly like an R4 are going to be really disappointed. And I had never said this before, but it's a little bit of an anecdotal story. This is back when I worked at a game shop. One of my best friends was, we were talking, because there was this one person who, we could tell he was getting games from Best Buy. It's been so many years now at this point, so it's fine. But we could tell this guy was stealing games from Best Buy, and he was selling them to us. But what happened was, because I kind of like seen like a little bit of like the casings and all that in his bag. He tried to not let me see them, but I ended up seeing them. And I was talking with my friend, and he was kind of laughing about it. And he's like, man, I don't know if I was doing it. I would do this, and I would do this, and I would do this. And then you end up bringing this in and bring one of these here. And then you're able to, open up the cases, put them in. You're not detected. And I was like, it sounds like you've done this before. He's like, honestly, I haven't done it. It's just, I know it. It's kind of just the common sense stuff to me. But he said something that never left my memory banks. And I just relate this to the Mig Switch here versus Atmosphere. I'm not going to shame people for pirating here, but the quote that my friend gave was, if you're going to steal, at least steal right. And that's how I feel about the Mig Switch. If you're going to steal, at this point, if you're going to pirate games, at least do it properly. Just do it on Atmosphere.
Sure. Yeah, totally. And, before I pulled all of my old, like Switch, like software setup kind of bullshit, anyone who remembers any of that, like it's all still the same, like principle of, you set up your MUMMC, and now there's discourse. Some people say that blanking the prod info is snake oil. However, I've done that for 3 years. Whenever Incognito came out, I switched from 90 DNS to Incognito, and had never had an issue. Multiple switches, still fine. So if essentially it's pretty easy to set up your switch to be, you have custom firmware that's on an EmuNAND that's completely separate from the sysnan, and then if you're using sysnan, you just boot into stock and you're fine. Like you use in stock, if you're going online, if you're doing whatever, you use your Switch, you boot into stock, and you use it like you would a stock Switch. Exactly. And then if you want to play around with some homebrew, or sail the deep seas, whatever it is you're doing, you move to your custom firmware EmuNAND with either 90 DNS setup or blanked prod info. Debate all over on whether blanking prod info doesn't work, but
I just
it
blank
does.
that prod info because it's like, okay, 90 DNS, you have to set it for your connections and all that, or like you blank the prod info, and it's like, well, you can't phone home if you can't phone home.
Exactly, and I wish that somebody, because once Mariko got exploited when the like the early Days of SX or whatever. It was real dicey using the incognito RCM or whatever, like the most latest was at the time. Like, it would either work on your Mariko or it wouldn't. I don't know. I forget what the
I remember that.
With the stipulation. Yeah, it sucks. It never got sorted out on Mariko. So since then we've been, the exosphere file from Atmosphere. It's an INI file. That's not as foolproof as like it was with Incognito, where it's just like you set this once on your emunan, can't fuck it up. Like the prod info is blank. You don't want to do it on your sysnan because then, then if you lose the prod info file, you're screwed. But that was the best setup for sure. And hopefully, maybe one day, I doubt at this point because it's been so long, but if that comes back, if Incognito comes back for the newer Switch models, that'd be cool because that was the most foolproof way. But Exosphere's pretty much just as good. Just don't delete the file on accident and you're fine.
I was gonna say with Incognito RCM, I believe what you can do. So the issue was you couldn't chain load it. Essentially, you couldn't boot into the SXOS bootloader and then load up Incognito RCM. That was what was causing issues. But then it was shown. Yeah, then it was shown that once you reflashed it, once Spacecraft NX came out, at that point, you would just be booting. The chip's firmware ended up changing, and from there you just do a clean boot into Incognito RCM, and you're able to run that successfally. If it was
so, it was weird from
I think
my memory.
It was the keys one, but it was a lot of SXOS, like the SXOS bootloader did not do chain loading payloads very well.
Right. That's why if you with Atmosphere, the compatibility there was kind of dicey, but you were able to use the SX gear files that completely redirect it to payload.bin on like the root of the whatever. Like if you were flashed with the SX firmware, like you didn't actually need to flash it with Spacecraft. You could just use those SX gear files to reconfigure it to go off of payload.bin. But flashing Spacecraft ended up being the better choice, and unless you were worried about opening your system.
Big thanks to Balika for that.
Yeah, totally, man. That dude's the man.
Oh, yeah.
Dang old wizard, that guy.
Absolutely. Yeah, I tell people he's not a man. He's a machine.
Yeah, dude. He's come up with so much cool stuff. It's incredible.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Mechapoon, too, man.
Mechapoon's awesome.
Mechapoon's a massive accomplishment.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, I mean, we're kind of winding down here, but one of the last things I ask here is what games we're currently playing. So I'll ask you that. I know you were mentioning Palworld, but what games have you been playing here recently?
Have you heard of this game called The Bible? No, I'm just fucking.
I've heard of the Bible game on PS2.
PS2? I thought that was on SNES.
There was I think there was Bible Adventures on the Nintendo.
NES. That's right.
Yeah, but no, there was a game called The Bible Game on PS2.
Oh damn, that sounds pretty shitty. So Palworld, I've been playing the hell out of it. I've been working so hard. I've maybe get like 2 hours in, like in the early hours of the morning, but it is incredible. I wish I had like the time to just like no life it like for multiple days, because I am really enjoying that gameplay loop. But other than that, before that, I was pretty deep. Well, since I've last been on Dark and Darker, played the hell out of that. I was really sucked into that. But that is a very sweaty game. I'm not a very competent like PvPer. I love those high stakes games just because, they make you feel something like other games just don't, where it's just, it's high stakes. You go in with a lot of gear. You have a lot to lose at any given time. Like really, death is very punishing kind of games.
Okay.
Stuff like that really grabs me. But I haven't been on that kick anymore. I was playing a lot of New Vegas, and if Palworld wasn't out, I would still be in the New Vegas grind. I modded the hell out of it, and I think it's a Viva New Vegas mod pack or whatever. It's just a lot of fixes, a lot of like little tweaks, but it's pretty much like vanilla plus. Basically, it's just fixing some of the mishaps with, obviously a Bethesda game's going to have its fair share of goofiness, and that's been really really refreshing to go back to, because I haven't played it since it came out, and kind of forgot how incredible it was, and it takes a while for it to like click again, because it's like, you're starting the game, it's tutorials, whatever, but then it's just like the choices, like your what you choose matters, and it makes it pretty clear, and there's so many variations of like, if I fuck over this faction, like this could happen, like, and so many reasons to like completely start over. Like I ended up going with Yes Man on this playthrough. I cited for an independent New Vegas. Not sure if I would do that again. I truly love the nuance of like everything being. It's like real world politics. It's like every single option is incredibly flawed. Like there's like the more Bethesda-y games, like the Fallout 3 is much more like black and white, good and evil kind of thing. Yeah. Whereas New Vegas has like everything's gray, and even like the super evil people like Caesar's Legion, who like on its face is like pretty evil, but you'll find people in the wasteland who are like, you know what, like the taxes are pretty good with these guys, and like if they're controlling a place, like us as traders, we don't get messed with at all. So it's a wild it's a really incredibly done game. Like just so much
a little bit of a crime, but I've still never finished New Vegas. I was but my issue was I was playing it on 360 at the time, because I was just really on console. I wasn't on PC, and it was so bugged out. And I remember it wasn't even just the bugs, but I got so frustrated. You know how it is in Bethesda games where it's like you're looking for a specific thing in a room, and then you keep turning around, and like on the radar you can't see exactly where it's at, so like you exit and tells you to go back into that room, but it's really on another floor. Took me like,
that's really frustrating.
I rage quit because of that, and then I remember I came back to it months later and I figured it out. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And then I did 1 or 2 more missions, and I think I got like stuck again. I'm like, you know what, I'm done, and I just haven't played New Vegas at length since then.
Man, I don't know if you're into like deep lore, like RPGs like that, or like FPS mixed with RPG, but
I am, because I loved Fallout 3, and that's why I was disappointed with Vegas, because I was like, I want to like this game, but I think I'm sure if I go now, and I'll probably hit you up about it too, like see like which mod to install now, but I'm sure if I play it on PC this time around and mod it properly, I'm sure it'll be fine.
You're gonna have a great time, and it's very what was fun about it when I was like, as I was playing it, maybe a couple hours a night when I was into it, but then it would be periodically throughout the day. Like there was like a good week I was like playing the game, I was like doing side quests, and I was like finding myself like earnestly thinking like, all right, do I side with like Mr. House? Seems like he's got some good ideas, but who should I go with, or do I just want to like do you just want to like side with the evil guys just to see what kind of like shit happens? Like it genuinely had me invested in a way of like, I want to know what happens if I side with this faction over that faction, or how much can I like play both sides and like work for these guys without pissing off those guys. It's it's incredible. It keeps you thinking like outside of it, whereas like Fallout 3, I loved Fallout 3 when I was playing it, but I mean the depth of that is like, do I want to blow up Megaton, or do I not want to blow up Megaton? And it's very much, do I want to be evil, or do I want to not be evil? And of course you blow up Megaton, fuck those people. But no, I'm just kidding.
I didn't blow up Megaton. Wait a minute.
I absolutely blew up Megaton.
Oh my god.
Only time I played that game, Megaton had to go.
Fair.
That's for sure.
Fair.
I've heard that a lot from people who played Fallout 3. It's I think it's the unusual thing. But the Tenpenny Tower, man, that was swanky shit.
It was.
I had to have it.
That's fair.
Oh man. Well, hell yeah, dude. And what have you been playing? You playing Final Fantasy?
Actually, yeah, I was playing Final Fantasy VII Remake. I totally spaced on this. I actually ended up pre-ordering. I didn't know Rebirth is coming out in a month. Like
I did not either.
There you go, and it just snuck up on me, and I was like, wait a minute, I've been wanting to replay Final Fantasy VII Remake, because I played it on PS4 first, like launch week it came out, loved it, but I've had it on PS5.
Is it on PC now?
It is on
it's on
PC,
PS5.
but I got it on
it
PS5.
is.
I like my consoles, man.
Totally.
I have it on PS5. I have the Intergrade chapter I haven't played through yet, so I'm like 2/3 the way through it on PS5 right now. I need to do that. I'm trying to see if I could hit Crisis Core before Rebirth comes out, because when Rebirth comes out, I was like, nope. I was a consumer whore. I'm like, man, I'm gonna pick up this game. Like, I pre-ordered the deluxe edition, got the physical, did the pre-order because I'm like, well, I want this game immediately and I don't want to wait for it. So no, that's been really good. I'm playing through that right now, and the girlfriend's been watching me play through it, and she's absolutely loved seeing it.
Oh, that's awesome.
It is. It was.
I haven't had an experience like that since like our Resident Evil remake was a very good like watch someone play it.
Ooh,
kind of game,
the like RE1 remake, or which one?
Yeah, the old school like GameCube that's been
Okay.
like reissued a zillion times, but that is one of the. It's been a while since I've had one of those where it's just like a bunch of people gathered around, like
That's top tier.
just watching someone playing, like, you know, in the same room, not like a Twitch situation where people are like just as stoked watching that game as they are playing it.
Yeah, and it's been cool because we've had a few experiences like that. So even I don't know how emotional you get over games, but like sometimes so Final Fantasy VII for me,
I cried in Last of Us 1 when I first played it.
there we go, and
The
that's
beginning.
valid. That's valid. But for me, like Final Fantasy VII, I didn't really realize it until like years and years ago as an adult when I replayed it, how like important of a game it is to me and how much I loved it and how much like emotion I had tied to it. So there is. Did you play through Final Fantasy VII Remake at all?
No, I barely played it on
Okay.
PS1 back in the day. I had 8, and I got sucked into Final Fantasy 8 as a
I
kid,
gotcha.
but 7 I don't know what it was, if it was like the dark demeanor, like the more grittier
And I think
demeanor than
that's
8.
why I
like-
liked it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably why I'd be more like more vibe with it these days. But as a kid or whatever, like for whatever reason, Final Fantasy 8 grabbed me, whereas 7 did not. I don't know.
And it's
I
funny.
don't know
because
why, but it did.
out of those games, like 8 I could never like fully get into. Like 9 I very much enjoyed, 10 I enjoyed, but 7 just gripped me, and I went backwards and discovered 7 and thought it was great. But no,
I gotta
there
do that
there is
one day.
I think one day, but there's one scene in there, and it's not even really a spoiler because it's like it's basic, but also it's just the game's been out for so long and it's just the same game story remade essentially. But at one point, like after a mission, Cloud ends up. It's the second time he meets Aerith. He crashes through the church that she's in and lands in the flower bed and wakes up and sees her. And when I was playing through Final Fantasy VII Remake the second time, I was like, okay, I wonder if this scene's going to hit me, because that scene hits me and makes me cry. And it's not because of anything like super profound or like any sadness that's happening, but
This is just well done.
there we go. It was excellently executed. Like Cloud wakes
Yeah.
up, and in the remake, you know, he sees Aerith, and Aerith is just such a darling character because they knew they couldn't mess it up, so they just made her so like adorably cute and just made her character, like the voice actress who mocapped and did her character did an excellent job. But then once that cutscene is done, it's just you see Cloud right there, he's standing, you see the bed of flowers, you're in the church, the music is playing in the background, Aerith is standing right there, and there was just like such emotion that came over at that point with it being so well executed. Like I just started crying there the first time I played through it, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna see if it hits me the same the second time, and it did. It hit me a little harder. So
Damn.
so like my girlfriend, like I'm an emotional person. Like she loves that about me. So she was kind of, consoling me and all that. But she's also like, this is, she's appreciated this because she's like,
it's going to be all right.
Yeah. But she's like, I get to see like more insight into things there. And I told her, I was like, I think the reason why this also hits me so hard is because, when both times when I played through it, I kind of thought to myself the first time, but it was also the second time it was clear in my head. I can clearly remember playing through that same scene the first time seeing it on the PS1 when I was like maybe 9 or 10 years old. I remember being like in my parents' house. I remember the TV. I remember where it was positioned. I remember the ugly wallpaper we had. I remember everything from seeing that. And I remember on PS1 I played it and I'm just like, oh, okay, cool. But for me, when I remember that and like the music really triggers it, it brings about such a good memory from when I was a kid at that point. Like, life is pretty good. Everything's going all right. Like you're just having fun playing Final Fantasy, experiencing it. And it's just in the best possible way. It's very emotional.
No, I know that exact feeling. I think a lot of us, especially any of us older heads into like the retro gaming kind of shit, it's all, I think, can all relate to what you're talking about, because it's very much it's like chasing the dragon, like mainlining nostalgia of like this like moment in time or whatever where like things were simpler and just like a certain feeling that like I'll never forget playing Link to the Past as a kid, and it's I still think it's a great game. I don't think I'm like nostalgia blinders, but I just when I pick that game up every couple years, like or whatever, like it's just something about it that takes you back to something when everything was simpler.
Absolutely.
And no, I can definitely relate to that feeling. It's almost I'm trying to explain it, but it's almost inexplicable of those games that you grew up with and trying to chase the dragon of the feeling that it made you feel. If it was a good one, if it was something.
For sure.
I have a lot of nostalgia for stuff like Earthworm Jim, but that game pissed me off as a kid and it still does now. That game was hard as shit.
New Junk City, I remember that.
Yep. I know. That game wrecks me, man.
Yep. But yeah, no, it was interesting again to re-experience that. We actually had the same thing with some of the other games I finished was so I've now finished Ring Fit Adventure 6 times.
Damn.
Yeah. Oh, dude, that hardest game. Dude, I'm not a Souls player, but I played Ring Fit Adventure 6 times. I'm like a level 600 something, and I play on the highest difficulty. So
damn, dude.
Yeah.
Mega Chad over here,
dude. So I became
dunking on noobs,
dude. That thing be keeping it keeps my BMI in check. So there's been that. The other game though, this is actually a game that we had played through a bit before. And she brought it up since you actually have a PS5 now, but have you played Astro's Playroom?
No, so I actually got that PS5. It like sat on it like in the box, like fucking like just around the living room for like a week or two, and I was like, why the fuck did I buy this thing? And I just returned it just in Amazon.
Oh no.
I never unboxed it, and the fact that it was just like sitting around like in the apartment, like I couldn't even be bothered to like set it up. I was just like, maybe my money spent better elsewhere if this is how I'm going to treat this fucking thing. But yeah, no, I honestly, I still have there's really nothing about the latest generation of consoles that interests me. Like
that's fair.
I wanted that PS5 to play Demon Souls remake, and I don't know, man. I don't know if I want it like if it's worth like $500 to play a game that I've played before, like with fancy graphics.
I get that.
So
yeah, and
I don't know. PC's just there's enough shit to keep me busy.
Wait for a price drop in a few more games, I'm sure.
I'll definitely get one day.
But I will say one of the best games on the PS5, which is one of the very few exclusives, is built into the console itself, which is Astro's Playroom, which
I've heard that's rad.
It's amazing. It is a tech demo based all around the controller, but it's an actual good tech demo, and you can tell like the developers made it with so much love, because you quite literally play through like the lineage and history of PS1 through 4 and all these quirky environments and stuff, and you are collecting, like, you collect memory cards, you collect stuff like the PSP camera, you collect consoles, and you could see the models in great detail. So
yeah,
like,
that's awesome.
Yeah, so my girlfriend and I, like, we had played through a bit of it before, and she was bringing up, she's like, what was that one game, like the game where you like play in the PlayStation 5? And I was like, oh yes, it's been a while since I played it, so let me restart it. So we went through it together, and she thought it was adorable, essentially, because not just like the game is cute, but she kept seeing me freak out, like, oh my god, this from this game, this from this game, this from this game. And then whenever we would finish up levels, I kept quite literally, I would like run around, like I would come to my office, or I would like pull things off the shelf, like the Pocket Station or like the PSP Go, and I would show these things to her. And or like UMDs, I was showing those to her. And so she knew about
I don't have either of those.
Really?
The Pocket Station or a Go.
I got a Pocket Station boxed. Yeah, and then I've got one Go. My only regret with the Go is I should have gotten more of them. I got my Go when no one wanted them. When you could get it for $40 used at GameStop with a 1-year warranty included, because nobody wanted those things.
Are those going for a lot now?
Maybe like $150-$200, something like that.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah,
dude.
yeah. Because
I just bought a
they're
I just
good.
spent that on like a. What did I just spend that on? I just spent that on like the fucking Minecraft Creeper 2DS.
Ooh,
like,
okay.
Really nice condition in box from Japan, and wasn't much more than that. That's wild.
Yeah, that's. Yeah, and the Minecraft stuff, the Minecraft branded stuff, I noticed seems to go for higher. Like the Minecraft branded series. Not series, but the Minecraft branded Xbox One S was also more expensive. Like at the time, like the Series S was, I want to say $250-$300, and the Minecraft version was $400. And it's like, what the hell? If you're gonna spend this extra money, just spend a little, save up a little bit more, and get yourself a One X.
Yeah, totally, man.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily that I like. I do love Minecraft. I love all like majority of those survival style games, but the Creeper Edition one, it's such a good color green. It's like just an aesthetically pleasing 2DS, which was my main like reason for getting it. I was just looking at various 2DS models. I traded mine recently for some like an X3.
That's actually a really cool looking one.
Yeah, are you looking at it
now? Yeah, that's a cool looking one. Yeah, I didn't even know this one existed, but that is a cool looking system.
I didn't know about it until recently, but yeah, I traded my 2DS, and then I was kind of like, yeah, I'll trade for that, and I've been kind of eyeballing that Creeper one for a while, so I got one imported one, which is kind of annoying, like because it's only Japanese. You got to region convert it, and then once you do that, you can't do any like systems transfer stuff. It like blocks you out. Like this, knows. It's like this system was originally Japanese, so you can't do this. Like, you don't get banned, but it'll be like if you region converts like a Japanese one. I found this out like the hard way recently. Like if you region convert a Japanese one to US, and I was trying to transfer like my legitimate like Galaxy one to one that I imported from Japan and converted to NTSCU, and was trying to do a system transfer, and it was like, this system isn't in its original territory. Error. Like, oh, I guess I'm starting over. God damn it. But yeah, but other than that, it's like perfectly fine. But it is you definitely need to install custom firmware, and you definitely need to like use that to convert it to NTSU, because there's no option to change the language to English. Like,
I thought that was a stupid idea.
It's such the region gating stuff just in general, like I think it's always been like real trash and shitty, and break those region locks down like whenever the opportunity arises it. But the fact that it's still like, it's weirdly like gone away, but like sticks around in like little aspects with
it does.
Streaming services. Everybody's VPN pitch is started by like, do you want to watch Canadian Netflix?
And you can watch.
It's like, who wants to watch Canadian Netflix?
No, you can watch The Office that way.
Oh, that's right. Oh, is that for real?
Yep. The Office is still on Netflix Canada.
Oh, damn! With NordVPN, pay us Nord. Pay us Nord.
There we go.
and fucking what's his name? And Jim. And Pam, give us money.
There we go. Give us money, please.
Damn right.
But yeah, no, with Astro's Playroom. So the thing is, I was like pulling all that stuff off the shelf, and then like afterwards, she thought it was a real cool game, but she was like, no, it was really cute to see because it was almost like kind of like being blasted to your childhood and like learning more about you in that way, because like you were just so excited seeing all this, and you were showing me, and then you were explaining it, and she's like, no, it was awesome. Then the other game I had finished here, the last one. Have you heard of Golf Club Wasteland?
No, but it sounds kind of neat.
So
you throw that wasteland at the end of golf.
There
It's
we
a nice juxtaposition that's tickled my fancy as you said that.
So do you mind a spoiler here?
I don't give a shit.
All right. And anybody else, my apologies, but we're pretty much near the end here, right? So thank you for hanging out. But no, so it is a 2D type game where you are pretty much Earth is uninhabitable, but the only thing you could really do in Earth, like people are living in space now, the only thing you could really do in Earth is come back and play golf there. So
I love it.
Using like visuals.
So stupid.
Yeah, using like visual. Well, it sounds stupid, but using visuals and the radio and the soundtrack, you end up learning more about it, and it's kind of this like nostalgia trip through like a wasteland version of Earth, as you are this you're this spaceman who is playing his last round of golf essentially on Earth. So when you go through it all, you're going literally all around the world. You're going to Brazil, you're going to the US, you're going to Russia, you're doing all of this here. By the end of it, there's the ending that plays out and stuff, but then once the actual game is complete, you pretty much flip through the story in like a storybook fashion, and it describes to you like what was happening, what led to it, and then what happened after the game, which is really nice. But then the best part about it, which just like took me for an absolute shock, the entire time in the background, the radio, it's kind of like a Grand Theft Auto radio, where it really puts you into the world, and there's talking and there's stories in there, and the music is good. And the best part is, we had commented a few times, because this is again a game, I was playing it on the TV, girlfriend's doing something on the side, she's kind of paying attention to it. And we're both like, wow, the soundtrack's really good. Like, the soundtrack's awesome. This game is cool. Quite literally, the very last slide in this slideshow, as a thank you, they have you scan a QR code to which you can download the entire soundtrack for free.
Oh, nice, dude.
Yeah, and she was like, cool. Holy shit. Like, she was like, no, I was going to ask you if you could find this or something, because the soundtrack here was really good. And I'm like, well, look, they gave it to us for free as a thank you. And it's not like you have to, from what I see, it's not to like a very specific link. It's not like you have to buy the game, then you have a specific link and you go to it. Like, no, the QR code just makes it easier. But yeah, the developer is just giving out the soundtrack for free. But I had no idea about it, and going into it completely blind and having that as a ending present was really awesome.
That is super cool.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yep. I love it.
There's
too.
so much nickel and diming and like, shaking down of the gamer by the modern gaming industry that
you're not wrong.
It's very refreshing when you see some cool stuff like that, like something that's just passion. It takes passion to just be like, here, download the soundtrack for free. It means that somebody just likes the work that they did, and they're proud of it, and they want to share with people, as opposed to trying to nickel and dime you. And,
agreed.
Certain bit of authenticity with something like that, that's much appreciated and can be refreshing in like kind of a wasteland of just kind of corporate muck, gobbledygook that
for sure
been infesting everybody's feeds forever. But that's beautiful.
Just from that, I was like, I regret not playing this game sooner, but this was so cool right here. Like this already, just in January, that was one of the coolest gaming experiences I had, just because of how charming, how nice the game was, and then they dropped that on you.
That's so cool, man. Yeah, I gotta. Is that PS5 only?
No, I played it on Switch. I think it's on everything.
Oh,
yeah, it's on.
Yeah, I'll have to yoink that.
Hell yeah. Yeah, no, I definitely recommend playing it.
Funny enough, I actually have a PS5 controller, even though I don't have a PS5, because I did like the
DualSense is
I think
a nice
Retro
controller.
RGB like posted it because it was on sale or whatever on Twitter, and I I yoinked one up. It's fucking nice, dude.
It's a nice controller. It's comfy.
Yeah, it's really good. I love the D-pad on it. I'm a sucker for a good D-pad. I fire up my OG Xbox like somewhat regularly to like. I think it's probably the best platform for all the old Tony Hawk games, which I'm a big sucker for. This just got so much. It's got like all of them there, basically, in one place. Everything else you kind of got to jump around, like PS1, PS2, whatever. Like OG Xbox has the best collection of Tony Hawk games for a console, I think. And only issue is that I fucking hate the original Xbox, and I hate the Xbox 360 D-pad like a lot, like fair. Especially for Tony Hawk games, where it's just like you want like precise input on like precise and like quick, like really fast like inputs, where the D-pad's just kind of it's kind of mushy. It's kind of it's hard to differentiate like left from like diagonal, like up left,
Fair.
So I'm always big fan of the DualShock. I love playing DualShock controller on like original Xbox. I wish I wish there would like 360 got like the same kind of treatment. That'd be cool to just be able to have like have a better controller on Xbox 360, because anything D-pad related, like I get like real butthurt on the first two Xbox controllers.
I totally
like
get that.
360, like Dark Souls, like D-pad's super important on like Dark Souls on 360, and it's just like, oh, I gotta change my weapon. Oh no, I just unequipped my flask. Like this fucking D-pad's doing whatever it wants.
I've heard the complaints, and I think I'm just so used to it. I'm like, I get it, but also I'm used to it.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. It's just that, for me, and it could just be like, clumsy fingered me, but for whatever reason, I am bad with the original Xbox, and 360 D-pads like perpetually like piss me off whenever I have to use them.
I feel that.
DualShock 5, superb. Modern Xbox controllers are also like just as good. It's just the preference of like, do you like the big chunky controller, or do you like something a little more skinny and sleek? I think I prefer Sony controllers personally, but I'm not a massive burly gentleman with giant hands who only wants to play on the Duke.
Yeah, I didn't mind the Duke, but then again, at the time when I was first trying it out, it was my like first system I really had, so I didn't know any better. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember being handed a Duke way back in the day. Play some like Halo the first time I saw the original Xbox, and I didn't think twice about it. Like it's just, and I would have been like 12 or 13 or something. I would have been young when I was like first used. I don't remember thinking like this controller's giant, but
yeah, it's like, oh, this is a controller. Yes. Okay, this system's big.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of neat, but it's definitely like it's made for someone with a certain build, would
absolutely
really benefit from a giant controller like that and be more comfortable than someone with super tiny hands. The Duke is probably not ideal.
Yeah. That's fair.
Well, right on, man.
Yeah, we're gonna ride the end here. I'll be honest, man. I'm tired. I'm hungry, so I need to get those things situated here. More the hunger first, but dude,
I got my McDonald's waiting over here.
There we go. I need to get this man to his McDonald's. But dude, it's been a pleasure having you on. It's been a fun time. Thank you so much for coming back on. This was a blast here.
Anytime, Mario. Happy to be here, and thank you for having me.
Of course. Before we wrap things up though fully, we like to do our keyword or key phrase. So if you use this keyword or key phrase in a comment on the video upload, we'll know that you made it to the end as we're looking at comments. But I'm leaving it to the guest here. So Modzville, what keyword or key phrase should people use to know that they made it to the end? Well, we know that.
Okay, let's see. I'm looking around. Let's see here.
I'm putting you on blast.
I know. No, I want to think of something good. How about poo poo pee pee like last time?
Oh, we're doing the same thing. All right. If you use
That's the best thing I had a couple things I thought of, and I think it, tried.
I was thinking maybe McDonald's or something. I don't know, but no. Hey, if you
they gotta pay you. They gotta pay you first.
Fair point. So how about this? If you use the, we're gonna have people type it out again. Pee poo poo pee pee. That's it. If you leave that.
How about pee pee poo poo?
Pee pee poo poo.
Let's flip it around. Let's mix it up.
We're gonna change
so
it
people
up.
aren't cheating. Yeah,
right.
let's make sure pee pee poo poo.
All right, perfect. Let's do that. So pee pee poo poo this time around. If you use that in a comment on the video upload, we'll know that you've made it to the end. Yeah, I love what you do to the channel, man.
Hell yeah, dude! Thanks for having me, man. Always a treat.
Of course, man. Anyways, this is Mr. Mario signing off. Thank you all for listening and watching, everyone. And until next month.